Welcome back to another episode of the Fruitful 3 show.
Yeah, buddy.
Today we're talking about dating, marriage, and relationships in a culture that has more access to connection than ever before, yet reports higher levels of loneliness, delayed marriage, and relational dissatisfaction. Divorce rates. Research from organizations like Pew Research shows fewer people are marrying. Many are marrying later in life, and a growing number say it's difficult to find someone who wants a serious relationship. At the same time, divorce remains common, and commitment feels optional in modern dating culture. So something has shifted. Today, we're unpacking what changed that hasn't, the psychological differences between men and women, what both actually want, and what scripture says about covenant versus convenience. Yes, Christopher, there will be a little bit of religion in here. We're talking about love, dang it. And love is a big part of the Bible, dang it. So hopefully we don't put you to sleep, buddy.
Hopefully not. We'll see.
I noticed Levi kept it pretty short, so anyway, we have merch. You can support the mission if you believe in relationships, that relationships should be built on intention, discipline, and faith, not impulse and trends. This show isn't about echoing culture, it's about challenging it. Strong families don't happen accidentally, strong marriages don't happen accidentally. If you stand for biblical alignment, leadership, and commitment and growth, rep it. You're not just wearing merch, you're representing a mindset. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The fruits of your labor is basically what we're about. If you stay dedicated to anything, bro, you're going to have a prosperous life. There we go.
You don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Christopher, I'm going to let you just sell win. I don't care if you want to talk about college or weightlifting, fitness.
Yeah,
whatever.
I was hoping you was gonna let me spit real quick. So Bruno Mars, right, has a new album that came out today, and I listened to the whole album this morning. 9 songs on the album. A pretty good album. But I gotta say, the first song, which is titled Risk It All, I played that song, I kid you not, like 15 times, bro. Like that song is that good. And I was telling somebody earlier that this song is really good. Like when I get married, like when I'm dancing with my wife, I want this song played at my wedding. And if I could get Bruno Mars to perform the song live at my wedding, that would be like a dream come true. That's how good this song is, man. Like Bruno Mars is one of the best pop singers to ever, do it. I put a tweet out on X saying that, pop music is like the best genre. And Bruno Mars, proved it today by dropping this amazing album. And like this song is like really like, man, it's like really like legendary, man. So I'm gonna be playing it either later on tonight or tomorrow for sure. Um Shout out to Bruno Mars. I wish I could see him on tour later on this year in the summertime, but it's gonna be in New Jersey and tickets are expensive to go to that show too. So um I know Harry Styles is gonna be performing at Madison Square Garden for 30 nights. I tried to get tickets to that show, but too expensive. So we'll see what happens in the future. So yeah. Um, as far as like my fitness, I gained a couple of pounds. Had a couple of bad food yesterday, but I'm trying to, do better. Today I went to the gym, did 3 cardio machines, the treadmill, Arctic Trainer, Stairmaster. and I'm trying to stay away from like sugary drinks. Nothing but water, nothing but water. So we'll see how much I weigh tomorrow morning and go from there. Just want to train my body to do 3 cardio machines when I go to Planet Fitness. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start it off with the 5 love languages. Now I've heard this before. I don't know. Is this theological or philosophical, or because isn't this out of a book?
Yeah, it's out of a book that actually sits in my house.
Yeah. Okay. So I was right. Didn't you have a DVD that kind of talked about this too, or like a CD? I mean,
I don't actually know if I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Long story short is I used to be part of I wouldn't really call it like a pyramid scheme, but it was kind of similar to how a pyramid scheme, like they wanted you selling things and they gave you a bunch of like leaders. Granted, I loved it because it gave you a bunch of like leadership books and like leadership material and stuff of how to like improve your life and be a better person because they wanted you to be a better salesman to sell this product. Well, one of them I ran into happened to be the 5 love languages, and it's actually a pretty good book if you actually read it.
Hey, the concept of the 5 love languages was introduced by Gary Chapman. Wow. And includes words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. While some psychologists debate whether these categories are scientifically rigid, relationship research consistently confirms one thing: people feel loved when they feel understood and responded to in ways that matter to them. Many couples struggle not because love is absent, but because they're expressing it in their ways, or in ways their partner doesn't emotionally register. Husband may work long hours to provide, believing that's love, while his wife craves intentional time and conversation. Both can be a trying, yet both can feel unseen. The issue isn't effort, it's translation.
Yeah, so in other words, so like with the 5 love languages, the main thing is we all have that certain we're all wired differently and we all have that one wiring where it's like if you feel more connected like with physical touch, then you need to let your partner know that because the more times they hug you, the more times so on and so forth. Or like for example, like my wife, she loves it when I do acts of service. So like when I do the dishes or when I do this because she feels like I'm actually appreciating the things she does. So that's kind of where the whole love language is understand what your partner what makes your partner feel like you're putting effort into the relationship basically and try to continue to do that the best you can. I understand we all slack, but
Slacker. Can't believe he slacks.
I'm a slacker.
Do you not have the 5? Because aren't they like actual?
Yeah, it says words of affirmation,
Oh, yeah,
acts of
duh.
service,
I literally read
receiving
it.
gifts, quality time, and physical touch.
That is 5.
So like words of affirmation, for example, is like saying I love you, like you look really good in that dress today. Just basically like building their confidence, right? Acts of service is like doing stuff around the house, just doing something to, I don't know, like I said, is doing like chores and stuff, doing something for them. Receiving gifts, so like if they like gifts, so like you go out, you buy them cards, or you build something for them.
Buy flowers.
Yep,
buy them a dress and secretly put them on the bed so when she gets home she finds them.
Yep.
Well,
So
well, I guess.
Yeah. And obviously quality time is very simple. Like they just want to be around you. They want to spend time with you. That is kind of like a lot of it is like the Netflix and chill deal where, I mean,
that's shoulder to shoulder, man.
I know, but like it needs to be deeper than Netflix and chill, but like I'm trying to use languages that everyone knows.
Like a dinner date and then going out and having fun.
Yeah.
Wrecking out the town, man.
And then obviously physical touch. That's like hugging, kissing, cuddling, you name it. That one's pretty obvious too.
Yeah. Any questions so far, Christopher?
Not about what you guys said, but as far the questions, are we gonna get to that? Like,
Yeah, we'll get to them.
oh, okay, cool, okay.
I'm gonna put that in advice from a married man because
Okay.
it's the questions can be answered many different ways, and I know they got answered according to their relationship.
Yep.
Okay.
So how the dating game has changed. Dating has radically shifted in the last 2 decades. Instead of meeting primarily through church, mutual friends, schools, bars, or community events, many people now meet through apps like Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge, and bars. Technology has expanded options, but it has also introduced choice overload. Research suggests that when people perceive unlimited alternatives, they are more likely to hesitate, compare constantly, and treat connections as disposable. Swiping culture can unintentionally train people to evaluate others like profiles instead of people. That doesn't mean apps are evil. Many successful marriages started there, but mindset matters. Are you using technology intentionally or find covenant or casually seek validation?
Yeah.
There are some sites like Bumble is the girl has to reach out to you first, which is kind of cool. And then there's like Tinder, which is now pretty much
Just hookups.
hookups
now.
or friends, making friends. Even though Tinder has a whole different app specifically for making friends, people still use normal Tinder for making friends.
So like the whole reason I put this in here is because so a while ago, I mean, it's pretty explanatory, but like 20, 30 years ago, you actually had to find the courage and walk up to somebody in a social meeting or a social outing and say, "Hey, I'm Levi. Nice to meet you. Can I buy you a drink?" or something. Like you actually had to make that physical contact.
Lawsuit.
Now the deal is I can go, "Oh, hey, looky here, la da da." Like, "Oh, hey, she's cute." Like, swipe, and then if she matches, then yeah. But
and then you find out she's using an AI filter.
And the other thing too is like back then you actually had more trust in people because like you didn't have all the social media stuff. You actually had to take their word for it. You had to trust them on what they were saying. And now it seems like everybody, like the whole disposal thing is now everybody is, "Oh, hey, I'm tired of this. This is boring. I need a new upgrade." And they're not as committed to each other anymore.
It's like trading vehicles.
Yeah.
Got to get a new one every year.
See, so in other words, you're basically you're playing with everybody's emotions at the end of it. And the sad part is you're losing that trust because you found this person and now all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, hey, I found this hotter chick. I'm going to dump this one." And now she's like, "Well, I don't trust guys anymore because now they're just total douchebags." No, like, unfortunately, that's the reality of it right now is, and that is why everybody is so hesitant of getting into a relationship.
And they have made cheating and open relationships pretty much moral.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess. If people would respect their bodies a lot more, I think, sex wise, like instead of just throwing themselves around, there would actually be a lot more commitment.
There's been studies out there that, like, since you're on the topic of sex, right? Or since you brought up sex, there's been actual studies out there that when you actually have that intimacy with that other person, you are actually like bonding with that person. And then what happens is over time, you bond with so many people, you don't know exactly what to feel anymore.
Mm.
And like there's people out there like actors and actresses, and like a lot of them is like, if you have ever listened to like a porn star's testimony, like when they've got out of the porn star, like
Porn
the porn or the
industry.
porn industry, thank you. But like when they get out of there, they are like they don't know what to do. They don't know what love is. They don't know, like they're so like so lost and confused that they have no clue what anything is. And it's crazy. And so yeah, that's just kind of, so yeah, so we need to get back to the whole trust and morals.
Morals. The difference between man and a woman, because there is a difference whether you believe in equality or not.
Yes. One has a penis, the other one has a vagina.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up, Dr. Levi.
You're welcome. It's Dr. Thugnot. Oh, wait. Never mind.
Okay. Men and women are equal in value, so don't cancel me just because of what I said 2 seconds ago, but often different in wiring. No way. Biology, psychology, and socially, research in evolutionary psychology and behavioral science shows men, on average, are more motivated by achievement, status, and physical attraction. That means, like winning, the winning attitude, the flex culture, If you aren't wearing Nikes, then you are broke. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the new edition of Luca's, you're nobody. Okay?
Well, Luca belongs to Jordan, but Nike owns Jordan. So yeah.
Oh yeah. That's why I brought it up. Or LeBron's.
Yeah.
I don't even know who all has basketball shoes anymore.
Pretty much everybody now.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, women, on the other hand, often prioritize emotional security, stability, and relational depth. Social conditioning reinforces these tendencies. Men are frequently taught to suppress vulnerability, while women are encouraged to cultivate emotional awareness. These differences aren't about superiority, they're about understanding recurring conflict patterns. A man who feels disrespected may shut down. A woman who feels emotionally unsafe may withdraw. Many relationship breakdowns happen not because of malice, but because of understanding.
The whole understanding goes back to love languages too.
Yes. I think a lot of the issues I see in this world is that there's like no understanding between men and women anymore.
Yeah.
We have bought into this equality mindset. And yes, women can do some stuff that men can do. And men can do some stuff that women can do. But it's still not the same,
Yeah.
Whole different mindset.
We were talking about this kind of early, like not quite this. This is kind of like a little bit of a rabbit hole here. But we were talking about a little bit of this at like work earlier today, because like we were talking about like why kids act out more now than what they used to, and it literally it goes back to like this, because back in the day the women were like the stay at homes and stuff, and a lot of women still worked because it was still farming. Like that was the kind of like the big culture at the time. So the women did a lot of the house chores and helped out around the farm and stuff like that. And then like when the work industry came in and all that stuff, the men went off to work and everything. They were able to pay for it. But at home, the wives were still like the women were still raising the kids and doing the house chores and stuff like that. And now the deal is everybody goes to work. So who's really raising who's really raising your kids? Like, because the school system's raising your kids, you're not raising them anymore. The
social media,
you have like whoever your daycare provider is, they're influencing your kid in a way. So the deal is like the family morals And the deal, like, also nowadays it's so hard that a lot of people work double jobs and they're never home, when it used to just be a 9 to 5. And so the husband or the father was home to spend time with the kids, all, like, at least spend some quality time with the kids. And yeah, so
I saw a reel the other day, and it was this lady. She's like, bring real feminism back. And it's like, they made us go to work to have us pay double the tax so they could stuff their pockets more, you know? I was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, we're up to the questionnaire. Yeah, playing games, man.
cool. So
Levi's.
this section is like advice from a married couple. So like, so there was questions. So my wife, she doesn't like to be in front of a camera and stuff like that. But there were questions that was asked, and they wanted her point of view. Also, they kind of wanted like a little bit of advice from me. So like, my advice is this: is like, love is a commitment, right? So think of it like your sports team. Your sports team, okay, I'm going to just pick a fan base out here, and don't come after me, but the Cleveland Browns, right? The Cleveland Browns have like one of the worst football records and are one of the worst NFL teams possible out there, and yet people still buy tickets, people still support them, so on and so forth. And those guys are actually putting in, like, they're committed to that team, right? So win or lose, you're committed. Are you happy when they win? Yes. Are you sad when they lose? Yes. But the deal is you're making a commitment to go back every Sunday and watch that same team. So love is a commitment. It's not an emotion. Yes, you can feel emotion during it. But if you let emotions control your relationships, you'll never actually have a true relationship. You gotta choose that person every single time, every single day. The good, the bad, the ugly, you name it. They're your person. Another thing is don't be afraid to take chances. So we all have a type. Right? We all have a specific type that we are attracted to no matter what. Now, that type may not be your soulmate. That may just be the person you are attracted to. So don't always fall into like that default mode. Be willing to move out of your box. Be willing to move out of your comfort zone, because that, like, looks are not everything. You can find the hottest girl there, and she could be a straight up bitch or a gold digger or whatever, right? But yet that other person that isn't very attractive, that isn't this and that, they could actually, their personality could be the whole thing. So that's the other thing, is like, personality is the main thing, not so much looks. And today we are living in a world of looks with like your Tinder swipes and all that stuff. You're basing it all off of looks, and you're not giving that person an opportunity to show their true personality. With that being said, is the grass is not always greener on the other side, because like, you can go and you can swipe all those Tinder apps and all those, or Tinder dates, and go through all the apps and everything, and find someone better. They might look better, but they might not treat you as good. So like, you find this person, you're like, oh, hey, she's hotter. And you go chase her, and you're like, why is she yelling at me all the time? Why is she doing this? Why doesn't she just let me be this? Like, so-and-so let me do that. Right? Like, that's just, so you got to find that person who you can get along with. And no matter what their flaws are, you have like, or no matter what their flaws are, you accept their flaws and you accept them for them. And you choose that every single day. You don't get to like wake up and go, oh, hey, I don't like this one, move on to the next model. No, that is that is how we end up with the problem we have today. So that's just that is my point of view on this, and that is my advice is just like I said, just make sure you are fully 100% committed. Now if if you guys can't get along and you keep arguing all the time and so on and so forth, or you keep or you find them cheating or something like that, you're gonna have to sit down and do an actual one-on-one conversation with yourself. You're gonna have to if you find your significant other cheating, it's either A, you forgive them and you see what happens and you give them a second chance, and if it does happen again, then at that point I would be out. Now, or you go in there and you're like, hey, you cheated, once a cheater, always a cheater, and you're done. So, and the other thing is always communicate things, because communication is, I don't care if it's relationship, if it's work, if it's whatever, communication is always key to everything you do in life.
And honesty.
Yeah.
Communication and honesty.
Yep. And be honest with them. Like the deal is if you're having problems with them, or if they're doing something that annoys you or something, just say, hey, and if it starts a fight, it starts a fight. So be it. But the deal is I would rather be honest with someone and have that fight start, and then all of a sudden 2 days later or so, I'm just using an example here, it could be 30 minutes later, right? They could be 10 minutes, but however long later, they come back and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, you're right, I was doing this wrong. Or, oh, hey, I see where you're coming from, I do those things, I will work. And so what you guys are doing is you're making a kind of like a compromise of oh, hey, you're figuring out where your boundaries are, and you got to choose. And then at that point is, once you figure out where the boundaries are, you got to choose, am I willing to stay inside this box to make this relationship work? Or am I going to, or do I need to find somebody who's going to let me be a little bit more free and push the boundaries a little bit more? And so, like I said, is it's all about commitment, and you're committing to that relationship. So that is my 2 cents, pretty much. And then, so there was a few questions. What are you writing down there, buddy?
My notes.
Oh, gotcha. I didn't know if you had something to ask me.
No.
Okay. So earlier this week, I was sent a list of questions that I was asked to have Shiloh answer for us. Now, she wants to make this very, very clear that this is her
opinion
and her perspective. Now, and the fact that everyone is different, so everyone might think differently and may not agree with this. So, so there was a question about the first date. What was?
Oh, wrong one. First date.
Was it?
If a girl really likes you, doesn't matter where you take her on the first date. If a girl tells you she has a boyfriend,
okay. So the first date, it doesn't matter where they take you on a first date. A woman who really cares about you wants you to put in thought and time something that is unforgettable, something that she will always talk about. Some women want fancy stuff and money. Some want a picnic in the backyard or a back of a truck, and in the middle of nowhere.
If you're from the city, you may have a different response.
Yeah, we're small town kids.
Yeah, sometimes it is better to ask the women where they want to go. That way they feel comfortable. You can give suggestions of hey, you want to do this, 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 or this, and let her choose, so that way she feels more comfortable. Christopher.
So I want to say something. So there's this guy that I've been watching on YouTube, and he would basically say, when it comes to the first date, you shouldn't go all out on the first date, because you don't know the girl and it may not work out in the end. So basically he would say, hey, for a first date, maybe you should take a girl to get ice cream or yogurt, and not spend so much money on going to a fancy restaurant. and like I just think like the first date should just be like simple. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not, but
Yeah.
So my advice to that is like the first date, how do I word this? The first date is like, to me, kind of key. And the reason I say that is because I've always heard this saying is like, you go all out in the first date, and like, okay, well, I wouldn't say like the first, how do I want to word this? Like, if you go all out in the first date, she's going to expect it all the time. But the
Mhm.
deal is they also tell you that the first few dates is the best version of you that the other person's going to get, because you are trying to impress that person and everything else. And after you get comfortable, you're no longer trying to impress that person. So then the real side of you comes out. So there's kind of like a catch 22 to it,
Mhm.
because you like, to me the first date is kind of important, because if you want it to go anywhere, or if there's any sort of connection there, if you don't feel any connection after like the first couple dates or something, then probably I'd call it off. But if there is some sort of connection, you gotta keep finding ways of keeping her attention, and or his or her attention, depending on who it is. But yeah, so
so my thoughts. So I generally feel like if a girl likes you, it shouldn't like matter where you take the girl out on a date. Cause I feel like if the girl like really finds you attractive or whatever, and she's like really digging you, I feel like you could take her to like McDonald's or whatever,
yep,
and she would still be okay with it.
yep.
You, yeah, because it's like if she's not looking for like free food or anything, then but I don't know. I just feel like if a girl really likes you, it shouldn't matter where you take it, whether
So
it's huh?
so Jason Kelsey, I'm gonna use Jason Kelsey here for example, but Jason Kelsey is his advice on this. So like when he first met Taylor Swift, right?
You mean Travis? No, wait.
Travis?
Jason
Eh,
did.
yeah,
Did
when
meet.
Jason first met
Yeah.
Taylor,
Yeah. My bad.
the deal is he got like shit faced drunk and acted stupid, because he told me, he goes, if she can deal with my stupidity at a low, then all I can do is keep going up from there. So I mean, so that's Jason Kelsey's advice is start off at the low of the low, and you can and if she still comes around, then you can work your way up.
Mm,
He was trying to sabotage his brother Travis. It didn't work.
yeah.
It didn't work.
No, I don't know, because now Taylor and Travis are getting married. Hopefully, sometime this year. Hopefully, they don't drag it on too long, but
Never know. It could be 5 years down the road.
could be. I don't know.
I don't know. Could be. I don't know if this would be a perfect example, but like our grandpa, he saw this really beautiful girl and kept trying to get with her and take her out on a date and everything, and she kept denying him. Right, 3 times she denied him, and finally,
What was the third time?
the third time. 2 times she denied him. The third time, why did I go Irish for a second? Don't ask me. But the third time, he succeeded. Third time's a lucky charm. She finally.
He didn't really succeed. She was fed up of him asking her out, so she finally said, "Screw this! I'm gonna go out with him on one date only, just to like, and then just to say I did it, and then I'm dumping him afterwards because he's not my type." Pretty much, it was just like she was fed up of him asking her out.
And they were married until the day they died.
Yep. Well, that girl ended up being our grandma. So
Yep.
apparently
So
that was the best time of her life, the best night of her life. So
sometimes you can go all out on the first date.
So
or whatever. I don't know. I never
Yeah.
really asked her what they did on the first date.
So you know what's
they
so
double dated it
Melvin.
Melvin and Kay.
Okay, Christopher.
So like years ago, I remember Drake, like he had met this girl, and for the first date, he like took her, I guess, to like a football stadium. I think it was like in New Orleans, I think. And he just like rented the whole stadium. And that's where they like had their like first date. And I was just like, damn, like Drake could do that because he got money. But me, I'm just gonna like, keep it simple and and hopefully, she we have a connection and we could keep it on from there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, so my advice is like you have to make the reason I say like the first day is critical is because you have to because that is your defining moment on is there going to be a second date, and two, you have to like impress her, like kind of impress her enough, but not like overdo it, because if you overdo it, then she's gonna expect it all the time. I mean, but also you got to watch it too, because if you do overdo it on a date and she's not one of those girls that like things overdoing it, she's not gonna be interested in you after that. She's gonna be like, oh, he's big into this. Help me out here, buddy.
Come on, spit it. Today, Junior.
I can't think of the word, but the fancy stuff.
Luxury?
Well, no, not luxury, but yeah, we could go with a luxuries lifestyle. She's gonna think you're big into that, and basically, like, I mean, you got.
Are you trying to think what Fergie sang about?
Not Fergalicious.
Okay, fine.
But no, you gotta like I said, you gotta impress her enough to, like I said, you gotta impress her enough, but yet you can't go overboard, and you gotta also like kind of read the room too, because the deal is if extravagant, that's the word.
There you go.
Extravagant, because if you go all out, and she's not into all the extravagant stuff, you're gonna lose her right away. She's gonna think like, oh, he's a rich preppy kid and so on and so forth, and this is not what I'm looking for. I mean, and then you could go the other way around where you don't go all out and that's what she's expecting. So I mean,
don't now I can't think of the word. Don't show your full playbook on the first date. You want to keep a little mystery, bro. A little mystery. That's key to keeping a relationship kind of intriguing.
Sometimes things just, I'll be honest, sometimes things just naturally happen. Like you take like my wife and I, for example, we never planned on getting married and having a daughter and stuff like that. All she did was she went to go help me get a pickup truck down in Kansas. That's how it all started. And then after that, there's a little bit of a connection. And after that, we started hanging out more. I mean, so sometimes it just comes unexpectedly. You don't gotta try, you don't gotta nothing. It just sometimes you just naturally go with the flow and things happen.
Hey.
So second one.
If a girl tells you she has a boyfriend, what are the chances she could be lying?
It's a good question.
What? So lying about a boyfriend?
Yeah, lying.
So that's an actual hard one to tell. But basically, if she is saying it's because she doesn't like you and wants you to stop bothering her. So that being said, it's really the whole boyfriend card is kind of
overplayed.
Yeah, I mean, and the deal is there might be some truth to it. I mean that is, but usually if like they say, and I agree with Shiloh on this one full-heartedly, is if she says she has a boyfriend, then just drop it, move on to someone, like just drop it, move on, let her be. Now, like if you...
Sometimes women say, I have a boyfriend, playing hard to get, and then if you do a follow-up question of how serious
just gonna bring that shit up,
or how serious are you, or whatever, then you really find out,
Okay, so since you went down that rabbit hole.
Yes, I went down
so
the bad boy rabbit hole.
Okay, so now
the Playboy lifestyle rabbit hole.
So now I gotta bring up a story from Elijah and our good old partying days together. So Elijah and I decided one night we were going to go out to Kearney, Nebraska, and we were going to go drinking and everything else. I think it was his birthday weekend. I think that's the whole reason we went out. I don't remember. But we went out to Kearney and we met this girl and she was really, really cute. And the funny part is we couldn't figure out who was actually going to go ask her. And we went up there and finally, like, we both, like, Elijah kind of followed me and I went up there. And after I got up there, I saw the ring and I was like, oh, sorry, ma'am. Or like, sorry to bother you, ma'am. Right. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, well, my brother and I think you're cute and stuff. And we were just trying to get your phone, like, just get your phone number and see if you want to hang out and stuff like that. And she goes, and then I said, and then I saw the ring. Oh, this thing, it's just a promise ring. It doesn't mean anything. Elijah and I were like completely in shock because we're like, what? Like we did not know how to play our cards after that because we're like, either A, we take the opportunity and some buff black dude named Bubba comes and kicks our ass tomorrow morning. Or
you know, you take an opportunity, but you know she's not going to be serious for your relationship, so you know it's only a one-nighter.
Yeah, it was so it is crazy to see some of the people's mindsets when it comes to like I unfortunately we both kind of like backed away after that, but because we kind of grew up the traditional lifestyle. But would it have been fun that night? Could have. But
could have regretted it in the morning.
But it was a choice we weren't willing to take. But yeah, the whole I don't know, the whole boyfriend card is kind of touchy.
Yeah, so there's this girl in my class, she really caught my eye the first day of like school. And she told me she had a boyfriend. She told me she's been dating this guy for 3 years. And I was just like, okay, all right, that's cool. And I just keep asking myself, like, is she telling the truth or like what is it? And then I spoke to somebody today and I got his opinion on it. And he said to me, usually when he goes up to girls and they say they have a boyfriend, he just lets it go. He doesn't like ask a follow-up question or anything like that. He just like not interested, but it's gonna take me some time to like, get over this chick because she does look good though. Like her face is like really good looking. So it's like, she's just like really pretty and stuff like that and nice. And but yeah, so yeah.
Could play the long game if you wanted to.
Well, the other thing, I mean, so like me personally is if they mention they have a boyfriend, it's just end of conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless, of course, somehow like later on down the road you run into him again and something in that scenario doesn't add up, like it. Or the other thing is if you know like one of her girlfriends or something like that, you could, if you are truly 100% curious, you could go ask one of her friends like, hey, like is she in an actual relationship? Is she not? I mean, that's just at the end of the day is it's gosh dang it, now I lost the word again. But it's basically it's just to put your mind at ease. What's the word? Gosh dang it. It starts with a C, I think. Don't quote me on that.
Don't quote him, guys.
But you always gotta go and you like when you break up and it, like when people break up and everything, you gotta like get that final
composure.
No. You know where I'm going. Gosh dang it. I'm gonna lose it.
He's gonna lose it, guys. He's gonna lose it.
Just lose it. Nah.
Are you ready for the third one?
Yep.
Okay, when you have an argument with your girlfriend or your wife, should you want to deal with the situation right then or handle it another time?
Okay, so Shiloh has broken this down into three different levels.
Ooh, three.
Three. So there is bickering, disagreement, and an actual true fight. Bickering is from overstimulated and frustration. Those are normal. And if you help with whatever is frustrating them and hug them or tell them to go take a break, you got this. And it will, or that, yeah, you got this. It will end the attitude. If it is a simple disagreement, yes, it's harsh. Or yes, let's hash it out now and move on. However, if the disagreement is turning into a fight and it gets heated, Shiloh prefers for us to walk away and clear our heads before someone either says or does something that we can't get past.
So yes, there's really two parts to it. Yes and no. Sometimes, depending on the level of frustration, it's better to argue face on, actually sit down and talk about it. And there's the second option where you're really frustrated and you both need a breather. The second option, you just have to remember that you cannot go to bed angry at each other.
Just always fight naked. It solves every problem. Sorry, I
Hey
had
there,
to.
buddy.
But it honestly, it goes back to understanding, right? Because if you understand your partner and your partner will, it goes back to the understanding and the communication. Because if you understand that your partner doesn't like to talk about things when they're heated, because they don't want to say or do something out of emotion that's going to cause a bigger problem, then you let it cool down and you let them come to you to talk about it later, and then you communicate on those things and figure out a way to solve it so it doesn't happen again.
And since we are on understanding, there is a huge difference in stances between men and women. Okay? Women, they like to talk face to face, make eye contact, But if you look at how men stand when men are talking to each other, they stand in a triangular shape. Even if it's two men, they still stand in a triangular shape, more to the shoulder to shoulder relationship, where women wants face on, head on looks, stances. So if you can understand that and how that triggers psychologically for both men and women, you can get over a lot of arguments quicker. I shouldn't say you can get over a lot of arguments. You'll get over them quicker.
Yes. It goes back to my statement of love is a commitment, because you're not always going to agree on everything. You're going to have your disagreements. Because if you think about it, you're two different people. I mean, it's no different than you and I, or you and I, right? We're different people. And so we have to have that respect for that other person. And we also have to acknowledge that, hey, they know something that I don't, or hey, there's a reason they're doing what they're doing, and there's a reason I'm doing what I'm doing. And so and a lot of it is how you grow up, is how you a lot of it is, it's just sometimes secondhand nature, is it's how you grow up, it's what you know, so you do that. But if you know that it bothers the other person, then you need to make the commitment and say, hey, it's bothering the other person. I'm going to do my best to not do this. And the other person has to understand that as well.
What worries me is when I get into a relationship and let's say for example me and my girlfriend or me and my wife get into an argument, let's say today for example, and then we just not talk about it for the rest of the night, and then she just brings it up again 2 days later. I feel like I'm gonna be like, you're gonna bring this up again? I thought we moved past this. I think that would be my problem. I feel like I might meet a girl that wants to continue to talk it out. And I'm just gonna be like, are we really gonna talk about this again? I thought we moved past this, but I don't know. That's something I gotta work on for sure. Um, so yeah.
So usually, and not like I know a lot of women that kind of hold grudges, but not all women hold grudges. Usually what happens is, and my wife and I are really good at this, is if we hash it out, then it doesn't get brought up again unless it happens again, right? There there are times where I do things that annoys her, and I try to work on it, and then a couple months later I naturally do it because that's just kind of out of natural habit, and it annoys her again, or vice versa. But like, we talk it out. We explain to each other like, hey, this is why it annoys me. This is why I don't like it. And there's always a reason of why you don't like it or why you do what you do. Sometimes all it is I don't know. I just naturally do it, and I don't know why I do it. And then if that is your first conversation, then the next time you do it, you're like, okay, well, now you, why am I doing this? Right? Like, you gotta find that pattern of like, hey, what's causing me to do this? And if they're gonna hold grudges, then that's probably not a healthy relationship for you to be in.
Red flag, man.
But but like if it's like a healthy relationship, you guys would exercise patience
Yeah.
with one another. Okay. Yeah.
So like, if you guys talk it out, like for your example, right? If you guys talk it out that night or hash it out that night, and like 3 days later she brings it back up, so don't jump to a conclusion, but be like, hey, why are you bringing this up? Did I do something wrong? Like, did I do it again? Like, did I do something to annoy you? Like, because the deal is who knows? It might be something you naturally do, and you don't know it. You just do it, and it annoys her. But if you don't know what's causing it, and if she's just bringing it up because it's fun, then I would probably start second guessing your relationship, because if she's just arguing for fun, then there's a deeper issue there too.
Yeah.
All right.
Moving on. Give me one. All right.
Is it true when you're not looking for the right one, they magically appear? Because I don't like when they say that.
That's a fact. So I've been told this by many people. Oh, if you stop looking, you'll find the right one. I have been single for a very long time. And even when I'm not looking, I still can't find Miss Right or Cinderella, whatever you want to call it, you know. So it's frustrating when I hear people would say that. Um, I feel like I have to put myself in situations where I could meet women and just put myself out there. That's just my thoughts on that question, but I don't know if you guys have different opinions on it,
So
but let me know.
so so like, if you're going to be, how do I want to word this? If you're going to be a homebody, it is going to be a lot harder for you to find someone.
Mm,
But at the same time, is there is a difference between there. I call it the looking but not looking phase, because you're putting yourself in situations like, you go to the club, or you go to the bar, you go to like certain situations, right? Or and social events, and you're putting yourself out there, but at the same time you're not physically looking for anybody. You're putting yourself in that situation to see if someone like confronts you or something like that, or just to see if there's somebody out there that catches your eye for the night, right? But you're not like, how, I don't know how to word it. Like, you're looking but you're not looking. You have to put yourself out there so someone recognizes you, but at the same time is, you don't necessarily have to chase every single woman that you find attractive.
Psychologically speaking, out of the question context itself, when you quit chasing, you start to like figure out what you really want in a relationship.
Yep.
And so then you end up finding women quicker because you know what you want and you know what kind of boundaries you want to have, so and then there's also the psychology point of opposites attract. When I first read that, I was like, oh, opposites attract. So, everyone's like, oh, how do opposites attract? Well, it's pretty obvious, but if you slack at something, they will pick up on that, and if they slack on something, you'll pick up on that. And that's why the bond becomes tight, and opposites attract.
So so Shiloh's response to this is, in my instance, I gave up on relationships. I thought I'd never find a healthy person to be in my life. After so many unhealthy people giving up is what happens. Then out of nowhere, the man of my dreams showed up. I wasn't looking, I wasn't trying. He just came. So in my instinct, yes, it's true. They are around. Hell, you may have met them, but it isn't the right time. The right person will come along. Sometimes if you stop looking and just live, they will be the last person you expected to be. That's that goes back to like what I was saying earlier, is like we all have like our specific type, or we all have like our fantasy girl that we just naturally default to. But the deal is that person may not be who your soulmate is. Your soulmate may be somebody completely different. And so be open to the opportunity of somebody else. Be open to the opportunity of trying new things. And
So Isaiah knows this about me, but I have like a particular race that I'm drawn to. And I think you're right. Like I have to be like more open to different women when it comes to like race. Some I need to like work on. Because like you said, like that particular person that I'm trying to talk to, whatever, might not be the one for me. So it's like, yeah. Because like I like, white women, but recently I've been attracted to like Latinas recently, and I like really find them attractive like now. So it's like I'm just like opening up to like different possibilities. Black women, I find black women attractive. Asian women too. Asian women too. I like Asian women too. But for the longest time I had like my sights set on like only white women. And then people in my life would just tell me you should be like more open-minded. Like you could still like white women, but you should be like open-minded into like dating other girls who are not white. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. But as the years have gone by, I'm like open to like, dating girls who are not like white, so yeah.
the other thing too is like don't always chase the 10, cuz like who knows that you could find like somebody who's like, well, I wouldn't say necessarily a 10, because like you could find a girl who for example is like a 5, like a 3, 4, 5 and looks, but her personality makes her a 10, right? So like the deal is we live in a world today where everything is based off of looks. And it all goes back to like your dating apps and everything else. But you got to be able to give that person the time of day to figure out what their personality is actually like.
So a couple of years ago, there was this girl at my school, and if I was to rate her on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give her like a 2. And I tried to like, hang out with her. Like I actually hung out with her one time, like outside of school, and she just talked too much. Like she would not let me get a word in. It was just like awful. Like it was like one of the worst experiences like of my life. Like, and she's also a Harry Potter fan, just like Isaiah is. And like she would bring like Harry Potter books to school and stuff like that. But man, she was just like blah, 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 like nonstop. And I was just like, yeah, I can't deal with this, you know, but I don't know. You know.
Is it the other thing too is like you gotta because like going back to what I was saying is like you gotta put yourself out there, but the deal is you're not technically looking. Like you could go and hang out with friends and everything else, and then one of your friends is like, "Hey, I found this person who might you two might match," and then don't say no to that blind date because that blind I mean, obviously your friends know you and your friends know this connection. Take the opportunity, go see what happens. If it's a horrible date, so be it. Learn from it. Say, "Hey, this didn't really work out," but don't like be open-minded. Don't be 100% closed-minded to everything.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Yeah. If I do find myself in a situation like that, I would be open. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Next one.
How should you approach a woman for a first time if you're nervous?
All right, so Shiloh put for starters, see the situation she's in. If she's having fun and relaxed, it's probably easier to accept you. Start with a compliment, not how she looks, but what you notice. Her smile, her laugh, her eyes, stuff like that. Jokes that can make her laugh always breaks the ice. Don't stare at her chest or her ass. Look her in the eyes, be attentive and polite.
Yeah, so I remember a couple of weeks ago I was working out at the gym at my school and I saw this Latina girl, like she had like her ass was like big and she was like working out and like I approached her and like I was like so nervous to like talk to her and it like showed. Um and I was like, "Hey, like have you like come to this gym before?" She was like, "No, like my first time." And I was like, "All right. I'm just working out, trying to lose weight and stuff." And she was like, "Oh, as you should, you know." And then I just was like, "Are you single?" She's like, "No, I have a boyfriend." I was like, "All right." And then I just left it alone after that. But I was definitely like nervous in that interaction. But I just gotta get comfortable just talking to girls like in general and just being more comfortable, so yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna laugh at this, but I'm gonna tell you a story here. So a lot of it is like when I was in the dating game, I would say is I kind of had a bulletproof pickup line, and it's not gonna be as good as what it was back then because I haven't used it and I will never use it again. But one thing is if it only works once because you gotta go up to who you believe is like the cutest girl, the hottest girl, whatever in that public setting. And basically like what I would do is I go up, I'd introduce myself, right? And if she like instantly shot it down of like, "Hey, I have a boyfriend," whatever, so on and so forth, be like, "All right, fine, that's fine," so on and so forth. Like, and what I would do is I'd always make it a bet. Like, if Isaiah and I went out to the bar together, I'd walk up and say, "Hey, my name's Levi," and she's like, "Oh, well, I have a boyfriend," and you're like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm sorry to bother you then," but my my buddy and I we made a bet that we had to get the hottest girl's number in this bar tonight, and if I could do it, then he's got to pay me drink or buy me drinks the rest of the night. If he does it, then I got to buy him drinks. And it's like, well, I'm just figured if I could but since you have a boyfriend, like I'm going to leave you alone and stuff, right? And what you do is you walk back to the bar and you wait it out. So usually, most of the time, if she tells you she's not interested, so on and so forth, after she gets done dealing with the people, usually she will, most of the time, she came back and found me later on, because it's like I complimented her. I said she is the best looking girl in that bar that night. I didn't waste her time. I told her about a bet that was going on. Like, I was just straight up, straightforward. And it's like, and if she comes and finds me, then either A, she never actually truly had a boyfriend and I just wasn't her type. And after all these other guys were just trying to get in her pants and playing all their games, it's like, oh, hey, this guy's actually not trying to get in my pants, and he's just basically just trying to win a bet. So I used to do that one a lot, and I will tell you, there was one time I did that, and I'm just gonna say it, fuck you, Willie. But so Willie is an old guy. He used to be the beer delivery guy for our parents' bar, and I ran into him during my college days, and I used to drill in the town that he lived, and so we used to go and hang out together, and Willie absolutely 100% set me up this night. But he told me there's this cute blonde that walked in the bar, and he told me there is no chance in hell that you can get her phone number. I looked at him and I said, deal's on. Right? And this is kind of what all got started as my pickup line. This is kind of where it all got started. Because Willie's like, there's no chance in hell. And I was like, deal. And he goes, if you can do it, I'll buy you drinks rest of the night. I said, all right, deal. Well, I walk up there and I notice this big diamond ring on her finger. I'm like, great, this ain't happening. And so I walk up to this table, and she looks up at me, and I was like, hi, I'm Levi, I'm sorry to bother you. She goes, and so I don't remember what she says back, and I said, well, I'm not even gonna try. Like, the diamond ring, I already know I lost this bet with the diamond ring. I'm just gonna walk back up to the bar and stuff. And she's like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, well, Willie over here. And she goes, oh, you know Willie? And I was like, yep, that is when I knew the whole thing was said and done. But I said, yep, Willie told me there is no chance in hell that I could get your number. And if I could, then he's buying me drinks rest of the night. And because obviously you're gorgeous and stuff like that. And she introduced me to her husband and everything. Well, later on that night, one of her girlfriends came up to me and said, so do you think my friend's cute? I said, yep. And she goes, well, what do you think about me? And I said, well, if you're single, then you're the hottest girl in this bar. and that's kind of where that pickup line came from, because it's like, obviously I complimented, like, I wasn't trying to go after the girl that I took home, but obviously I made a bet. Obviously, like, it worked to some degree, and so I was like, well, at the end, Willie just kind of gave me an unusual pickup line that no one truly ever expects. They don't expect to get a compliment. Like, they expect people to go up to them, try to take them home, try to play every single card, and it's like, I just played one card and walked away. And sometimes that's it. But yeah.
When it comes to meeting a partner, do you prefer dating apps or meeting in person? For example, maybe a social event.
So Shiloh put, online is easier, fear of rejection in person is hard. Talking online allows you to get to know them a little, or allows you to get to know a little bit about them. So meeting them in person is easier. So the deal is to me, is it kind of, with that being said, it kind of takes me back to like the 90s rap battles. So like, everyone could hide behind the mic and be top dog until you actually had to confront someone, right? But she also makes a really, really good point, because the deal is if you talk to them online and you're not afraid to say certain things to them in text messages and so on and so forth, then the deal is when you meet them in person, they already know a little bit about you. You already know a little bit about them. And it doesn't make that whole conversation awkward.
Mhm.
So, I mean,
It really, I have a little bit of experience in both or all of the above.
Comes to dating apps, I gotta take better pictures. I don't have good pictures.
That is a big issue. Is a lot of people don't have good pictures, and it
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, some I gotta work on and get better at, and so yeah.
If you get put in the friend zone, can you get out? Is it possible?
so Shiloh says when a girl puts you in that friend zone, it's because she doesn't want to lose you. She likes having you around. Most guys can get out of the friend zone after a few years, but if she views you like a brother, that you most likely will never get out of it.
Can I say this real quick?
Yeah.
So this was like years ago when I was getting my associate's degree at the time. There was this beautiful girl. Her name was Suzanne. She was this Russian chick, and she friend zoned me like so hard. Like it was just hard to get out. And I remember this one time she told me that she was going on a date with some guy. And I was just like, why are you telling me that? Like, like I like you. And she just kept me in the friend zone. Like, and like I was like always there for her, when she needed me and stuff. And I think I told you this, Isaiah. I don't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I told her like the L word, right? And then she just like laughed in my face. Like it was like embarrassing, But just never worked out between us.
The friends, I mean, I'll be honest with you, is the friend zone sucks. Like, but there's a lot of good with the friend zone is because like if you may like that person and everything else and keep hoping that there's a chance that something happens, but at the same time, as if you stay friends with them, one, they like you enough to keep you around, in other words, and two, you may eventually find, because I know I've had some, I mean, it's never worked out, but I've had some girls friend zone me, and then they're like, hey, you should meet my friend so and so, I think you guys would really hit it off. And so then the deal is it leads you to that other possibility of like, yeah, but I'm crushing on you, but yet you also like me enough to actually try to like find somebody that you think is more suitable for me. So I mean, so there's kind of a little bit of a benefit to it in a sense. Or the other thing is you just have this really good relationship and just continue to be friends for the rest of your life and see what happens.
It is possible. I will say this. I have a really good friend that I used to hang out with a lot, but she now has a man. So, I've respected that. But she always put me in the friend zone and told me that, like, the reason why I was in the friend zone was because she'd much rather have me as a friend than not as a friend. Well, and then she started, like trying to date, and she even asked me out. Like, well, I shouldn't say she asked me out. She tried to negotiate terms of a relationship with me. And at this point, I was already like, I value you more as a friend than anything else. Like, yes, I would like to date you, but no, I'm better off being your friend.
Wow. So you friend zone her back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cold-hearted
You know,
bitch. Sorry, sorry. That was like honestly the best reaction I could think of for that scenario. So
I'm legendary, dog. You don't play with my emotions, man. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I just respected her that much. And I knew at that point when we started talking about it that I knew that she really wasn't the one.
Yeah.
I knew what issues would arise and that if we did date.
Yeah.
and I decided that it'd be better off as friends.
So going kind of off of your story here. So the so girls are always attracted to like the bad boys, but yet the guys who are going to treat them well, right? But a lot of times is like they go after these bad boys and then they can't figure out why they can't find a good man. But when a good man comes along, they want to keep that good man in the friend zone because they know like, hey, I can't, like, this is too good to be true. I can't lose this person. And so eventually, like, and that's kind of what I think is Shiloh saying, is eventually over time they're going to realize, and like Isaiah's friend could have realized, like, oh hey, he's a really good guy. I've just got done dating all these dirtbags, and now I want a real guy. Well, the problem is the problem with that is sometimes if you string them along too much, they no longer, it's like, hey, my feelings are no longer, I'm no longer attracted to you. Like the feelings aren't there. Like you eventually you get to like that brother sister bond where it's like, hey, we've been really good friends for so long, and now the whole affection part of it where I find you attractive and stuff is kind of already out the window. So
Yeah.
So you can get out of the friend zone. It's just it's kind of all on timing and everything else, and what you're looking for and what she's looking for.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Doesn't matter where you propose.
So yes. So Shiloh says we put value into the time and effort and meaning. Yes, some prefer extravagant, but if you take into account what she thinks matters, then she'll be happy. A true woman wants your time, attention, and faithfulness.
So I want to say this really quick, right? So I've been watching videos of guys propose to their girlfriends at Disney World in front of like the castle. Wait, what was that?
Levi doesn't like that, man.
I mean,
Oh,
okay, so
that-
like, so don't get me wrong, like it's extremely romantic, but there's really no thought and effort put into it. Like that's why I was like, because to me is anybody can go to Disneyland, right? Anybody can prove, like the deal is what you're getting, to me what you're getting out of it is like the once in a life, like I wouldn't say once in a lifetime, but once in a lifetime photo with having that in the background and you down on one knee. But the deal is there wasn't really any thought and effort to it because you can go to Disneyland anytime you want to, right?
Yeah.
The deal is you got to put some, and eventually it's somebody does it, somebody else does it, and then it turns into a trend. That's the problem. And then what you got to do is you got to figure out, like, if you're truly serious about it, you got to figure out like what can I do that is going to make it irresistible for her to say no. I mean, I've seen people get married at, or not married, but proposed to at Brantley Gilbert concerts. There's one lady who got proposed to at a Brantley Gilbert concert in Grand Island that I went to. Just recently, there was a live wedding that went down at a halftime show. To me, that's pretty cool that happened. But I mean, some of those, like, to me, the Brantley Gilbert one, that could have just been spontaneous moment. Like you were in the moment, you absolutely loved her, so on and so forth. You were considering it, and it was one of those. I can't let this one slip out of my mind. So yes, there are your spontaneous ones, but now I'm gonna be honest here. So for like, so what I'm talking about is like creativity, right? So for me, the way that I proposed, and Shiloh likes telling a lot of people this, is I proposed in a cemetery. So, and people are like, what? Like, what do you mean by that? Well, so what happened was I proposed in a cemetery, but I proposed in exactly, so her mom, was it October? Oh gosh, she's gonna kill me now if she watches this because I can't remember when her mom passed away. But when her mom passed away, and when my grandpa passed away, and her mom had a big influence on her life, my grandpa had a big influence on my life, right? So I found a date that was like smack dab in the center of that, right? And so I went out there and I made a memorial of her mom next to my grandpa's grave and everything. And then I blindfolded her and took her on a little, like, she kind of started to figure out where I was going as after I started heading out of town in a blindfold. So I had to take a country scenic route to confuse her and everything else. So she had no clue where we were going. And then we got there and then I proposed in front of her. And so like the fact that I took the time to find what day was like smack dab in between it, the fact that I did it next to my grandpa's grave and did a memorial for her mom. I mean, even though her mom wasn't buried, like they weren't buried in the same cemetery, but the fact that I made a memorial there for her mom next to my grandpa's grave it was special enough to her that, hey, like he truly cares and he's trying to be creative and trying to bring sentimental value to this. And so you gotta, like, when you want to propose, is you gotta do something that's like, if it's spontaneous at the moment, cool, let it be the spontaneous moment. But if you want to try to make it perfect, don't just like half-ass it. Actually, like, make it worth it. Try to plan the right timing, try to plan everything, and try to plan something that's actually truly truly something that she will remember for the rest of her life.
Yeah, I could definitely see where you're coming from on that too. And then while you were talking too, I was also thinking about, like, if I was to propose to a girl at Disney World, she might not like Disney as much as I do. So there's that too. And it's just like I might run into that issue. So yeah. Because like you said, anybody could just go to Disney World and get on one knee and propose, you know. When I propose to a girl, I definitely want to try to make it so, like you said, like it's gonna be hard for her to say no, and like she'll have like a story to tell to like different people,
Yep.
So yeah, could respect what you're saying for sure.
Yep.
So, any final thoughts?
Nope.
No.
No, I just appreciate, Levi giving his wisdom, and appreciate it. Yeah.
Found out a lot about Levi now. You can use it to blackmail him later.
Cool. Blackmail me.
Okay. Levi wrote an outro, but I said screw that outro.
Actually, you want to do the Bible verse or the Bible section real quick?
I was just going to skip it because we're over time.
Oh, that's fine.
So I have my own little thingy. And yes, Christopher, it's from the Bible.
That's all right.
Cool. So you blended the... Okay. I get where you're going. Yep. I see you.
It's
got the Bible out too. Okay.
Yeah. It's the New King James edition. Not my favorite translation, but it's the best one I have inside my room right now. So we're reading from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 through 7 or 8. Whatever. Love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself. It is not puffed up. Does not behave rudely. Does not seek its own. Is not provoked. Thinks no evil. Does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in truth. Bears all things, believe all things, hope all things, endures all things. Love never fails. That's it. Mm-hmm. It's like a set of rules for how to love. Pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway.
Love your bread like God loves the church.
Yes, sir. Well, Jesus loves the church.
Sure. Yeah.
Because when he comes back, he's gonna marry the church forever and ever. Amen.
The church actually disappears.
Well, yeah, I know that, but you get the gist. Hey. Anyway, thank you, Christopher, for joining us.
Yeah, no problem, guys. I'm happy you guys liked my idea about this episode, and we got to do it together, and it was great conversations back and forth. I really
Mhm.
appreciate it, and hopefully the viewers would like and subscribe, and comment.
Speaking of that, we are a whole whopping 3 as of the time of this filming. We are 3 subscribers away from hitting our 50th subscriber. So, help us hit 50, dang it. I don't know.
What did I even crap? Now I forgot. What did I even say a few weeks ago if we hit 50?
Oh, that you would have like rotating guests.
That was
on the show.
100.
Oh, that was 100.
Oh,
100 was we'd have a guest on every single episode. 50 was, man, I don't even remember what my own challenge was.
If we hit 50, I'll gift you with some free merch if you allow me.
Oh,
I
I
have
said
to
we
consent
do series. We do a whole season on nothing but series.
Oh Lord, I can see Christopher like, hey, let's do a series on love and girls. Yeah. Anyway, we're out. Peace, love, happiness, and unity. Because it's all about love, baby. And
Yep.
we out of here.
yes.